Welcome back, everybody. This is The Last Gate Jumper. My name's Carl, and today we're going to be talking about Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, Episode 2, Adrift, which is where I was for most of this episode, I'm not going to lie. Pretty much what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you about the top four things I liked and the top four things I didn't like, and that's where we're going to leave it. I don't want to spend too much time on this show. It's not really worth it. It's never hasn't quite improved from the last episode, which was not that great. So, yeah, I'm not going to waste your time or my time. So, let's just jump into it. So, I'm going to start with the good things to give the show the benefit of doubt. So, here's what I liked. I liked the dwarven competition with Elrond. I thought that was pretty good. It's definitely something I would believe the dwarves would do, and due to their history with mining and their workmanship with stone. So it's definitely a sport I could see dwarves into. So I like them having that competition there. Another aspect I really enjoyed was when Elrond went to dinner with Doran and Diza. Uh, didn't think I was going to like Diza much, but actually I like her character. Um, she's a good wife, very supportive, and I really enjoyed her as a character. So I enjoy the whole family dynamic there. Um, I didn't really much care for why Doran is upset with Elrond, but I'll get into that later on. But just so you know, yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of the show. After that, another part I really liked was the kind of a thriller horror element that we had with the black elf jumping into the hole and going down the tunnels to find what made them. I liked how they were setting that up and how you kind of had that horror chase going on. Now, I'm going to admit, I'm not the biggest horror fan or thriller fan at all. So for those of you who are, that might have been pretty bland. You're like, okay, we've seen this 1,000 times in a ton of movies. But for someone who's not a fan of horror or thriller, I should say, it was pretty good to me. I'm just gonna be honest here. And finally, the other part of the show I really enjoyed was when the boy's hand was cut. Sorry, I should have been more clear. The son of the single mom who went off with the elf, he's the one who has that Mordor or orc or whatever that busted blade is that is supposed to be reminiscent of the blade of the West. We see what you did there. Not that great, but so when he's holding the sword in this one scene, his blood starts dripping towards it, or I guess you should say running towards the blade. And when it touches the blade, it starts reforging the blade. So I thought that was pretty cool. So that's about all the good stuff I got to say for the show. Um, On to the parts I didn't like. Number one, biggest issue with the entire show, Galadriel. Everything to have to do with Galadriel can be chucked out the door. I don't care. Don't like her character. Don't like her story. I don't empathize with her at all. If you're going to get, if you're going to jump off the boat in the middle of the ocean, you kind of deserve to drown. I'm sorry. Um, yeah, no, just everything with her I don't really like. She gets rescued by some people on rafts that just got shipwrecked by a giant sea beast. She tries to hide her identity by pulling her hair over her ears, which is really stupid because uh, give it 5-10 minutes, your hair's gonna move out of the way and they're gonna see who you are. So I'm sorry, it's not a really good way to hide your identity. Plus, we don't even know why she would want to hide her identity. That has not been explained to us yet. So if that would have, at least had a little bit of explanation why humans in general don't like elves, that'd been great. But we're not told why. Now we understand why the humans over where the black elf are don't like the elves because they're patrolling their military occupation. So I can understand why they're upset, but I don't understand why these humans wouldn't trust elves. So just another part that I don't really understand. Um, Also, I don't know, just don't really care for that whole part with her. Um, she she's not very grateful at all to anybody in this entire part. I'm yeah, I still don't like her character at all. Once she gets on the raft, a little bit while later, giant ship. sea monster comes by that wrecked their boat before, comes by and wrecks their raft again, and eats everybody on there except for Galadriel and one other dude that still has his piece of the raft. And for some reason, when he rescues her, she's very stone cold to him, very, you know, ungrateful, very non-caring, and I'm just like, why? Any normal person would be, thank you very much, or be at least show some gratitude, which she kind of does, but in a very female dog way. So yeah, everything with her just stunk. After her, um, I never really got the whole issue between Elrond and Doran. Like, I get why Doran would be upset if he sent messengers to Doran, like, or sorry, to Elrond. Like, if he had said, like, I sent you 5 messengers, Elrond, 5 messages, and each one you told me that you would come to my wedding. I sent you 3 messengers for my children, each, and you said you would come, and you never came. I would feel for him then. I'd be like, yeah, wow, Elrond, yeah, you are a big piece of work. The guy clearly showed that he had an interest of you coming. He clearly put a lot of effort and care and really wanted you to be there. Especially in this time when dwarves and elves shouldn't like each other because of the tragedy of the Silmarils, which caused a massive conflict and wars between the elves and dwarves. So yeah, I can understand that. But all we got is that you didn't come to my wedding. You didn't come to my children. It's been 20 years. Okay, it's 20 years. The reason why that doesn't really matter that much to me is because he's a dwarf. Now, dwarves' lifespans can range from, I believe, to about 300 years old to maybe 800. Maybe not that long, but somewhere in that ballpark. So, for them, 20 years should really be just pretty much like 2 years for us, humans. Like, 20 years was 20 years. It came and went. Yeah, I got married and I had kids. I sent you an invite, but I didn't really care if you came or not. That's the sense I got. But he's acting all pissy, which, okay, we get the sense that he cares deeply for this. But what effort did you put in to make sure your friend could come and see your wedding? That's just something I never understood. Anyways, that's the main part for that I didn't really enjoy. The Harfoots, how can I forget? The literally nothing good about the Harfoots in this episode. Yeah, she comes and sees the old man that fell from the sky and is able to touch the rocks that are glowing white hot and not get scalded. There doesn't seem to be any heat, even though there's flames all around. So, does fire mean nothing in this world? Maybe. Or maybe it's hot when it only needs to be hot and cold when it needs to be cold. It's smart fire. I wish we had that fire in this world. So, that's pretty stupid. Another part that's really stupid for this entire episode, they don't tell their elders what they found. They don't even go to the Black Harfoot, who would know about these things, whose understanding of, I guess, the skies and the strange things of the world would be very helpful at this point to help the girls understand this mystical man. But, nope. We just get the BS excuse that, oh, it's my responsibility. I have to take care of him. Why? I have to take care of him. I am responsible. Okay, well, the responsible thing to do is to go find an adult, like your mom and dad, or some elder who might know something about this guy who just fell from the sky and is doing weird things. Just saying. Also, the part that I really disliked about the Harfoots was when female Frodo is off with the old guy. Her dad is setting up some tent poles for the whole Harfoot community, and one of the ropes snaps and causes his ankle to get sprained or broken or some bad injury that if she was there, theoretically she could have helped prevent. And instead of getting scolded like any kid should have, um, she's the one who interjects like, "I should have been here. Perfect place to jump in, mom, and be like, yes, why weren't you here? What were you doing? I thought you were more grown up than this. I thought you were old enough to take some responsibility." But no, mom's just like, "It's all right. It'll be okay. Yeah. Don't worry about it." No, that's not the part that you act like that. You try to integrate a lesson to the kid, like, if you're not responsible, if you don't do your responsibilities, this will happen to you. Lord knows I had that plenty of when I was growing up, and it helped me quite a bit. So, and then, like, the immediate question after she leaves the tent up with her mom and dad is that they ask, "Can he travel? Can he go?" Not like, "Oh, how bad is it? I think I might have some herbs. Oh, let's go get the stretcher. Let's go clear some area of the back. Don't worry. We'll make sure your dad can travel with us." I'm like, what the heck? Like, care a little bit. This guy was just doing some work for everybody, and no one seems to be appreciative that he injured himself for it. That's at least my opinion. Then another part we see the Harfoots with the weird guy, and he's making some kind of picture in the sky with the fireflies. And they tell us, the audience, that he wants to go there. They tell us that that's what he intends. How the heck do you know that's what he intends? How do you know that's a picture in the sky? How do you know any of that? He could just be staring at the fireflies and moving them around like a senile old man that has magical powers. How do you know? If you had the black old Harfoot there, he could tell you, "Oh, that's the Orion constellation. I know where we can get a great view of that. That's exactly along our path." Well, since we're going in the same direction, he can come along with us. But you girls better take care of him. Another chance to teach responsibility could have been made there, but it's so stupid. I don't care. So that's my issues with the Harfoots. Finally, on to Black Elf and Single Mom. I don't care about these people. I don't care about any of these characters. The only reason why I know Durin and Diza is because I actually like them. Everybody else in the show I don't care for. Now, Black Elf and Single Mom are exploring the burnt down village, and they see a giant hole in one of the houses that's somehow somewhat still standing. Don't know how, but it still is. And he tells her he's going to jump down and go follow this tunnel to see where it leads. Okay, that's fine. And she wants to go with him, and he tells her, "No, it's too dangerous. You should go back to the village." Where I'm like, dude, you should have known it would have been too dangerous for her to come along in the first place. You saw that black liquid coming out from that cow's udder. That's not a good sign. That is not normal. From my understanding, not a lot of things can make a cow do that. Not naturally, at least, and I grew up across from a dairy farm. So, the mere fact that you have her along is putting her life in danger. And now you're going to send her back across country alone? Yeah, great. Well done. Yes. Noble. Very, very caring. Anyway, so jumps in there and goes searching. And that leads into the scene I told you that I liked about it. Anyways, she gets back to the village, tries to convince people, "Hey, we need to go. It's dangerous here." They won't believe her. They're happy the elves are gone. They're not going to call them back. They don't love the elves like she does. So yeah, we know that. Then she gets back to her house. Her son's hiding in the closet because he was banging on some floorboards, and one of the orcs had bursted out from their tunnels that they were digging for some reason, and was hunting for him. Anyways, he tells her that she should go, and instead of grabbing his arm and pulling him away and saying like, "No, we need to get out of here," she actually almost leaves. But somehow her mother instincts actually kick in this episode, and she goes and hides in the closet because she doesn't want to leave her son. Good mom. Anyways, there's a battle scene that happens, and for some reason they got a whole bunch of metal objects that I don't really understand, like where's the pitchforks or where's stuff like that. But anyways, they got all that stuff, and they kill the orc, and they behead it and bring it into town, and she's like, "Here you go, like I'm a badass." Anyways, not the most enjoyable. So that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it. Wasn't the best, But hey, we'll see how it goes. Peace.